Without wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best Powerline adapter. The product links are in the description and in first comment. The number 5 on the list is D-Link Powerline adapter. D-Link Powerline adapter. This device works great as far as it is able and I am pleased, but there are realistic limitations when trying to run a megabit signal through house wiring. This is true for all Powerline adapters, not just this brand or model. The speeds you will obtain will be different from outlet to outlet depending on your house wiring, including the distance between the two devices and the electrical panel, the number of wiring splices in the wiring between the two devices and the electrical panel. If possible, try not to use the device in an outlet controlled by a wall switch. To get a baseline speed, plug the two devices into the same outlet and run a speed test. This will be your maximum obtainable speed. Then move the second device to other outlets around the house and rerun the speed test. Lower speeds obtained in some outlets are not the fault of the device, but rather due to differences in the electrical wiring between the two devices. Even within the same room, different outlets may give greatly different speeds because of electrical wiring differences. As an example, I plugged the second device into 5 different outlets in the same room and got speeds ranging from what a difference. As a practical matter, it's very hard to predict if Powerline adapters will help in your specific situation, so test them out and return them if they don't help you. Running an Ethernet cable will almost always give better and more predictable results if it is possible in your situation. Even running an Ethernet cable as far as possible to a remote Wi-Fi router may be a better solution for you. So in the right situation, Powerline adapters work great, but the results are hard to predict ahead of time. The number 4 on the list is Zyxel Wave Powerline Kit. Zyxel Wave Powerline Kit. This device does not provide a signal. It's for turning your regular power outlets and the backing power network into a gigabit Ethernet network. I had some old Zyxel home plug adapters I had bought and which are no longer available. These new ones I bought to be compatible with my old ones. These new Zyxel ones fit the bill. They work great with my existing network. I have one of them plugged into a wall in my living room to supply gigabit Ethernet to a VoIP desk phone I have in a Centra L location. For that it works great. I plan to use the other one in the parent, my wife's office, if she ends up needing wired Ethernet for her job. I didn't need to call tech support, so I can't rate that. I also don't use it for gaming, so I can't rate that either. The only complaints I have are that there isn't an outlet built into this adapter, so it consumes an outlet and makes it difficult to plug anything into the other outlet, and it doesn't appear to provide power over Ethernet, which that phone could have used, but these aren't enough to knock it down a star. I knew they'd have this problem when I bought them. The number 3 on the list is Netgear Powerline adapter. Netgear Powerline adapter. I've had these adapters for over a month and I'm very satisfied with their performance. I was looking for adapters that delivered a solid internet connection to my which has notoriously spotty receivers, great for playing online multiplayer or co-op games where you need little latency. It does give me gigabit speeds, but I don't think my internet does that anyway. Still pretty fast for what I need as a casual gamer and an alternative to spotty, easy to set up. I live in an old house, plaster walls, and even with extender speeds were slow on the band and slower on the which was the only band that made it to the basement where my backup drive is located. Old house, old wiring, still some knob and tubing lurking about which I knew would impact the Powerline I am getting about with the Powerline. Considerably better than speed connection is more stable with the Powerline. Backups go faster and for the computer away from the router downloads are faster using the Powerline. Very happy with it, much better than drilling holes and snaking an Ethernet cable. The number 2 on the list is TP-Link Powerline Ethernet adapter. TP-Link Powerline Ethernet adapter installation is literally plug and play. There's nothing beyond plugging the box into a wall, plugging Ethernet into the box, and you're set. If you want to get more fancy and pair the devices to create a more secure network as you should, then that's a second process that involves pressing 2 buttons and waiting. There is not an easier networking product out there. Let's talk about the speed. It's not going to be that's not happening. I plugged these devices into a variety of outlets around the house. Here's how I set it up. Box A was plugged directly into my fiber router via Ethernet was plugged into my desktop via Ethernet cord. I then moved the box to a variety of outlets within reach to see the effect on the overall network throughput. The TP-Link website gets a D for being so craptacular. I wanted to find the TP-Link monitoring software to check the link status. The version that shipped with these Powerline adapters is junk, it didn't work, was clunky, and just embarrassing. Skip that I found someone who posted on a forum that had this exact same issue. They recommended trying the new version. I can't link to it on Amazon, which is really a shame, but if you search for this exact phrase using Google, it will come up as the first link. The number one on the list is Nexus Link Powerline. Nexus Link Powerline. After wrapping my concrete house with more insulation and added a metal roof, I was unable to use in my patio. I was not about to drill though the concrete wall and run foot of Ethernet cabling, so I decided to purchase this product. Wow, I had internet in my patio again and minutes. Setup was all too easy. Plug it into the wall, connect to my router, and Shazam, I am sitting on my patio, watching my favorite shows and chatting with friends on social media. The instructions are clearly written and easy to follow. No website to go to for additional instructions or web page for configuring. I expected a loss in speed going through my electrical system, but boy was I surprised when I did my first speed test. It was at my download speed. At first, I did not believe it, so I tested it again. Being that skeptic that I am, I then began to stream movies, and wow, I am a believer. Now this worked so well, I decided to see if it would work in my man cave and metal building that I store all my toys in. This building is feet from my house, but on the same electrical hook up. With that in mind, I set out on an adventure. I unplugged the patio unit, walked to my man cave, plugged the unit in, and I was in business again. I did lose of download speed, maybe due to the electrical wire size and distance, but well worth. I do not want to run cable to that building, and other options would cost more than this one. This will sure come in handy when I need to order parts for my tractor or look up some projects. If you have some of the same issues I stated above, then I highly recommend this product. I am sure my wife will not let me keep this unit in my man cave, so I will be ordering another unit, but I think I will see if I can for an adapter that connects to this unit, so I use my tablet in my man cave. Once I have everything up and running, I will surely update my review.